What's going on, guys? So I am pretty late to this trade recap as I was not really looking to make a YouTube video over spring break, but I was still trading over spring break every morning. So I will give you guys a trade recap here this is, I believe, Thursday, March 13th. So we caught this short about 10:25. So where I live it's probably like 6:25 or maybe 7:25. I don't remember. But anyways, why did we take this trade, and basically going over the model and the setup behind it. So if we look at the 4-hour, let's take a look here. We took the trade on like this candle right here. So what we're looking at going into it is this candle right here. When we open up the charts that morning, what do we see? Well, we have a very big bearish 4-hour fair value gap. We're sitting here at market open in the morning, right? We have been tapping within this 4-hour fair value gap all night and parts of yesterday. So what we're looking for is a rejection off of this, because if you look at it all together, we are very bearish on the 4-hour. So if we're going to dip below and we potentially want to come tap back in within this 4-hour fair value gap, we want to make movements to the downside and potentially take out these lows right here that were created and hopefully move down even more, because I believe, there's more sell side liquidity over here to be taken on the 4-hour. All these draws down here eventually hopefully going to be taken. So that's kind of what we're looking for on the 4-hour. And we see that we are perfectly tapping into this 4-hour fair value gap and hopefully getting a massive rejection off of that. So scale down to the 30-minute. We still have that 4-hour fair value gap marked out. What do we see on the 30-minute here? Okay, so we actually have two 30-minute fair value gaps. This one I just didn't really label out, but we'll go ahead and do that right now, just because we want to keep everything straight. So basically, here we are, market open within. We have a massive sell-off at market open. Our model did not appear, our sell model did not appear at market open. Obviously we could have caught this, just really being patient this day. So what we're looking for next, well, we've created two 30-minute fair value gaps, right? And we've actually created a 5-minute fair value gap that I'll show you partial reason as to why I took this trade when we scale down there. But purely looking at the 30-minute, well, we ended up taking a trade on this candle right here, right? Within this candle, we came up and bounced off of this 30-minute fair value gap. And once we saw that rejection, once we scale down to the 5-minute, we leave that 30 minutes there because it's going to help us when we scale down. Sure, it doesn't look too apparent on the 30-minute chart, but when we scale down to the 5, this 30-minute is so helpful for us, right? Because guess what? Price comes back up. We tap right into the middle of this 30-minute fair value gap. We tap also within this 5-minute fair value gap that was created right here. And then once we've seen this, we see a massive rejection off of both. And obviously, as you can see, we entered off this candle. But how are we going to get the most precise entry that we can? Well, let's go ahead and scale down to the 1-minute. We have all of our very large time frame draws and confluences. So if we're digging into the 1-minute here, let's see where we got our exact entry, right? So I hate this. I don't know why, but okay, here we go. We've just rejected off of these two fair value gaps up here, right? We've created a 1-minute fair value gap here. And we have closed below this 1-minute fair value gap. In so many ways, we have disrespected the current bullish order flow. There's so many reasons why to short here, right? All these rejections paired with us disrespecting the current order flow by disrespecting this 1-minute bullish fair value gap allows us to enter off of a candle closure below. You'd be like, okay, well, why did you enter all the way down here? Well, guess what? This candle could have dipped below and also shot right back up. So we have to wait and be so patient to confirm that we are going to disrespect the current order flow. And then the way to confirm that is through a candle closure. Once the candle is closed, we have just confirmed it, right? Paired with this 5-minute, I'm gonna learn to just make trade recaps like right after I take the trade, because having to scroll every single time is so annoying. Right now, what do we have? We have a closure on the 5-minute as well, below this fair value gap. Same candle where we entered the trade. What else are we seeing? We are seeing a closure below this 5-minute fair value gap. Higher time frames hold more value. They should to almost every trader, just because for the simple reason that higher time frame candles hold more data, and obviously more data to compare to and more data to look at and study is going to be a more accurate result, right? So what are we looking for here? 1 minute time frame, close below this fair value gap. We've also closed below the 30-minute fair value gap, all while rejecting off of the 5-minute and previous 30-minute fair value gap. So we take our entry off of the first candle closure that we get when we've just disrespected this current bullish order flow. We set our stops above these highs, and we have targets and draws from way over here that we have marked out. I believe on a different time frame, there's some lows down here that I had marked out, and that's why I have them as my TP level. But yeah, that's how we used our model there to catch this nice 3.37 RR trade. I believe we ended up making $860 off of this trade. I'll explain my partials as well. We ended up taking partials at this level right here because I would usually take them right down here at this low, but there's so many lows within this area right here that it would just be almost a little too greedy to just take this one, right? Because sometimes if we were going to see a rejection, it would be more likely off of these lows than this one. So if we really wanted to get out our partials and bring stops to break even, I'm just going to be a little bit more conservative here and place partials around these lows. Obviously, we ended up seeing, like when we came down here, we saw a little bit of a rejection off there. We got our partials taken out, and we ultimately decided to go through. That's why we left this final take profit. We were in for 3 micro Nasdaq contracts. We took 1 partial out here, so we took out 1 contract and let 2 more run because at this point we had already brought stops to break even. So it was already going to be a winning trade, and I just, I was a little more confident in my draws, especially on the left because I was bearish overall. So yeah, I ended up letting it run a little bit further, and obviously we hit full TP. So that was the trade. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I would be happy to answer them about the model. I'll be coming out with more trade recaps here shortly from spring break that I had yet to make. So yeah, that's about it. And this was March 13th, Thursday, I believe. Thursday, March 13th. So